This isn't about influencers. It's not about social media. It's not even about addiction the way you think of it. You and I are all addicted. Because this is about the most profitable drug operation in history. And it's one that doesn't sell substances, it sells states of feeling. They give you hits of identity, hits of validation, hits of belonging, hits of motivation. Might even be getting hit right now. You see, I call it Crackfluence. And once you see it, you'll realize why people keep relapsing into emptiness while calling it growth. So let me strip this down. Let's get surgical and answer this objectively. If something gives you urgency without direction, emotion without discipline, belonging without covenant, motivation without obedience, is it helping you grow or keeping you hooked? Because anything that must be consumed daily in order to feel alive is not nourishment. It is dependency. And it's Black Book time. Here's Black Book 1, what Crackfluence actually is. Now here's the system law. Crackfluence is dopamine packaged as purpose. It doesn't sell truth. It sells activation. Here's what it gives you. It gives you a hit instead of a habit, a feeling instead of formation, momentum without mastery. Keeps you watching, scrolling, reacting, but never building. Because builders don't need constant hits. Addicts do. You see, Crackfluence doesn't want you disciplined. It wants you dependent. So let me ask you something real. Why does motivation disappear the moment the content stops? Because if it was real strength, it wouldn't need constant refills. Here's Black Book 2, why Crackfluence works so well. Now, Crackfluence works because it feels personal. It speaks your language, names your pain, mirrors your struggle. Feel the power in that. Because despite that, it never asks you to carry weight. It keeps you watching instead of walking, consuming instead of committing, feeling instead of forming. It rewards reaction, not responsibility. And responsibility is the one thing dopamine-based systems can't afford to sell. Because responsibility makes people free. So sit with this. If your feed disappeared tomorrow, how much of your strength would remain? Not your knowledge, not your opinions, your capacity. Yeah, man. It's Black Book 3, how Crackfluence feeds artificial everything. Now here's the full loop clean. Artificial spirit removes consequence. Artificial everything removes formation. Crackfluence removes discipline. It kills that. It keeps people emotionally stimulated so they never notice they are spiritually starving. Most of us are spiritually starving. You see, you don't relapse because you are weak. You relapse because the system is designed to keep you hungry but never fed. And that is not an accident. That is a business model. So let me say this straight one more time to you, in case it wasn't abundantly clear. Crackfluence doesn't want you healed. Because healed people don't binge. So it wants you inspired but unstable, aware but undisciplined, activated but unrooted. Because rooted people don't need hits. Now, at this point, you already know if this applies to you, not intellectually, but in your body. So before we talk about what to do, let's talk about what this actually feels like when it's happening in real life. Now, in real life, it's the way you start your day consuming insight before you've done a single difficult thing. It's the scroll that feels productive because it sounds like truth, but never asks for execution. It's when you can explain discipline perfectly, but you can't stay consistent without being watched. It's when you feel flat the moment the video ends, not because life is hard, but because the stimulation stopped. You keep saying things like, I just need the right push, when the truth is, you've trained yourself to move only when emotionally activated. So when no one is talking, when no one's posting, when no one's hyping, stall. Not from laziness, from conditioning. And that is the quiet damage. You see, you weren't built weak. You were trained to outsource momentum. And until that changes, freedom will always feel boring, and boredom will always feel threatening. Now let's slow this down, because before we ask again what to do, let's sit with what this has already been doing in you. It's time for us to open up our deeper reflection window, and here are two very succinct and poignant questions for you to let rattle around your soul. Let me ask you firstly, what content do you consume that makes you feel powerful but leaves you unchanged? What voices hype you up without asking you to grow? That's not motivation. That's maintenance of addiction. Now, when you're ready, and only when you're ready, let's pull this thing back in close. Because the goal isn't to hate content. That would be quite contradictory of me, wouldn't it? Rather, it's to stop confusing stimulation with strength. You see, real growth is quiet, unimpressive, repetitive, and boring to addicts. So let's detox. It's time to do what we do. And what we do is to do you. So let's do you, and let's do you together. 5 moves, 1 consciousness, faith meets functionality. I think you're really going to like this one. We start with disrupt. Interrupt passive intake. Set a rule for yourself. No consuming insight before execution. And if you watch, you must do something hard immediately after. If content doesn't change behavior within 24 hours, cut it. Disruption is not quitting content, it's breaking the timing loop. Then you want to own it. Name the lie precisely. Say it clean, say it straight, say it real, man. I've been confusing stimulation with strength. Then track where motivation spikes, but discipline doesn't follow. Stop blaming inconsistency on burnout or timing. Ownership removes ambiguity. Ambiguity feeds addiction. Own that for yourself. Then you want to yield. Release emotional substitutes for growth. Yield the need to feel ready. Yield the urge to be inspired before acting. Choose boring, repeatable effort over emotional alignment. You can still go when you're not feeling it. Yielding isn't weakness, it's stepping out of the dopamine contract. Then you want to observe. This is really critical. Study your resistance, introspection, reflection. Study yourself. Notice when boredom triggers avoidance. Notice what tasks you delay unless you are hyped. That friction, it marks the exact edge of formation. What you resist without stimulation is where strength is built. Then you want to unleash. Install quiet consistency. Do one disciplined action daily with no audience. Measure success by repetition, not intensity. And stay long enough for identity to change. Give time. Freedom isn't loud, it is dependable. This is how you bring you back. This is how you bring God back. Those are your 5 moves. That's your one consciousness. My beautiful community of influencers, in our final moments together, let me slow this all the way down. Because the most dangerous addictions aren't the ones that destroy you loudly. They are the ones that keep you functional, informed, and quietly stuck. You don't need another hit, another clip, another voice telling you how powerful you could be. You need roots, and roots don't trend, roots don't sparkle. Roots grow in silence, pressure, and repetition. Crackfluence sells feeling. God builds capacity. One gives you excitement without endurance. The other gives you strength without applause. And here's the line you have to cross. If your growth only happens when you are inspired, you are not free. You are entertained. But if you can move when it's quiet, no one's watching, when there's no dopamine payoff, that is dominion, that's formation, that is remembrance. So today, I pray you choose depth over drama, discipline over stimulation, obedience over action. BYB, bring you back. BGB, bring God back. Because you own it or be owned by it. You either run the system or the system runs you. Change your mind, change your life. I am who I say I am. Do you and stay rich.